Hey there, today I'm going to be showing you 5 new dinners that only require about 5 ingredients, not including seasonings, of course. I really hope you enjoy this and find a dinner for yourself today. Let's go start cooking. To kick us off today, we are making this no-peak chicken, and oh my goodness, this recipe will seriously impress you. My mom used to make me something similar to this when I was growing up, and it's so good. So after I greased my 9x13 baking dish with nonstick spray, I added in my 1 box of Zatarain's yellow rice. Next, add in a can of cream of mushroom, along with 1 can of cream of celery. If you don't care for these particular cream of soups, you could always use any type of cream of soup you like. And then go ahead and add in 2 cups of water and give this a stir. Everything doesn't need to be well combined, just kind of give it a rough stir. I found that my favorite chicken to use for this recipe is chicken tenderloins, and I'm using about 7 of them. Of course, if you want to use chicken breast, you certainly can. Just go ahead and cook this in your oven for an additional 10 to 20 minutes or until your chicken is cooked. So now I'm seasoning the chicken tenderloins with a dash of pepper and seasoned salt. There is quite a bit of salt in this recipe as it is, so I'm just adding a little bit of that seasoned salt in. I'm covering this with aluminum foil, and it's baking on 350 degrees for 50 minutes. After those 50 minutes of baking, I removed the aluminum foil, and now I'm going to be sprinkling about a cup of shredded sharp cheddar cheese over the top. I'm going to let this bake in my oven for an additional 15 to 20 minutes. Here's my plate of dinner. I served this with steamed green beans on the side, and oh my, that chicken is so juicy and full of flavor, and the rice is cooked perfectly. I know this isn't the most gorgeous meal in the world, but it is so good. Now we're making this sausage with cheesy tortellini. To get this one started, in my pot of boiling water, I'm adding my 12 ounces of cheese tortellini. Go ahead and cook it according to the bag directions, and you could use any type of tortellini that you could find at your grocery store. Now over to my large pot, I'm adding my 1 pound of Italian sausage in. I'm removing the casings on the sausage and adding it in, but again, you could use any type of Italian sausage you like. And then I'm going to break the sausage up and cook it through. Now that our tortellini is cooked, I'm going to remove about 1/4 cup of the water that the tortellini is cooking in, and I am going to reserve it for the sauce. You'll see why in a minute, but I'm just going to drain our tortellini now and set it to the side. Now that our sausage is cooked, I'm going to remove any excess grease in my pan. And here's why I love making this dinner so much. Now you're just going to add in 24 ounces of your favorite marinara sauce along with the reserved pasta water. Give this a stir and let it simmer on your stove for about 5 minutes. After those 5 minutes of simmering, go ahead and add your drained tortellini in along with about 3/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Give this a stir, let the cheese melt down, and then it's ready to serve. I served our tortellini alongside of a side salad with spring mix, cherry tomatoes, sliced green onions, and dried cranberries and avocado. And then for the dressing, I just used this Bolthouse Farms Classic Ranch. It's really good and I do recommend it. This tortellini tastes like you spent hours and hours trying to make it, but it's just so simple to throw together. Now we're making this barbecue chicken pizza with an amazing 2-ingredient pizza dough recipe. But before we get started on our pizza, I do want to thank Walmart for sponsoring today's video. And if you know me, I'm sure you know by now, I really do love shopping at Walmart. I get so many different items from there, but they happened to send me this adorable Valentine's Day themed box. And I want to show you kind of like what's inside of it to get an idea for Valentine's Day for yourself or for your friends. pens, but as you could see here, they sent Dove milk chocolate next, this beautiful cute cake pan, it's shaped as a heart, and then this fudge brownie mix. Who doesn't love fudge brownie mix? And then what I'm most excited for is this fondue machine. I have always wanted a fondue machine my entire life, but Walmart has everything you need to create a special Valentine's Day for everyone you love for less. They also sent a cheese board and cute little candles. This box was custom made for me, but you could purchase all of these items separately at Walmart or through walmart.com to make your Valentine's Day extra special this year. Now to begin on our barbecue chicken pizza, to my electric mixer, or you could use a large bowl, go ahead and add 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt, followed by 1.5 cups to 2 cups of self-rising flour, and then you will mix this all together until it forms into a ball, and then knead it for about 5 minutes, or if you have a bread hook on your electric mixer, just let it knead in your electric mixer for about 5 minutes. So now that it is a ball just like this, I am going to bring it over to a floured surface, and I am going to roll it out into a large circle. Now that we have our pizza dough looking something like this, I'm placing it on my greased pizza pan, and then I am going to set it to the side since we are making a barbecue chicken pizza. In this bowl, I have about 2 cups of shredded rotisserie chicken. You could use any type of shredded chicken you like, though just using rotisserie chicken is so simple. And then I'm adding about 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce to that chicken. Go ahead and stir it in. Back over to our pizza dough on our pizza pan, I'm adding an additional 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce onto the dough, and I'm spreading it out as even as possible. Over the barbecue sauce, you are going to be adding about 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese. I do want to let you know this pizza dough works perfect for any type of pizza you want to make. So if you want to make just a classic cheese pizza or pepperoni pizza, margarita pizza, you can make it with this pizza dough just because it's so versatile. And then I added our barbecue chicken over the cheese, next sliced up red onions, and then I'm adding an additional 1/2 cup of mozzarella cheese over the top. This is baking in my preheated oven to 500 degrees for about 15 to 18 minutes, or until it's a nice golden color. Here's my pizza on my plate, ready to enjoy. I sprinkled the top with fresh cilantro. This pizza crust recipe is so simple to make, and I especially love how it doesn't call for yeast, so you don't need to let the pizza dough rise at all. It is just really easy to make. Now we're making this loaded, creamy chicken bacon bake. So to get this one started in this bowl right here, I'm adding the following ingredients: 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, 1/2 cup of cooked crumbled bacon. I'm using these real bacon bits just to make my life easier. And then go ahead and add in 1 cup of shredded Colby Jack cheese, 6 ounces of cream cheese. Make sure your cream cheese is softened so it's easier to stir in. I like to microwave mine for about like 10 to 15 seconds to soften it, and then add in 1/4 cup of sliced green onions. Give this a really good stir to combine the ingredients. Right here on my cutting board, I have my 2 large chicken breasts, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I love slicing my chicken breasts in half horizontally like this. So now it'll appear as 4 chicken breasts. This will help your chicken cook so much quicker and be really tender. So now into my greased baking dish, I'm adding our chicken right in there, and then go ahead and spread the creamy mixture we just made up over the top, and then sprinkle 1/2 cup of Colby Jack cheese over the top of everything. This will bake in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes, or until your chicken is cooked. I served our chicken alongside of steamed broccoli, and I sprinkled plenty more fresh sliced green onions over the top of my chicken because I have been green onion obsessed lately, but maybe that's just because I'm pregnant. Anyways, as you could see, the chicken is perfectly juicy and it has tons of flavor. For as much as I absolutely love macaroni and cheese, I cannot believe this is my first time showing you a macaroni and cheese recipe. So to get this one started, I am going to whisk 1 egg up and then set it to the side. Don't knock this recipe until you try it. The egg actually makes homemade macaroni and cheese really smooth and creamy. But to my pot of boiling water, I'm going to add 16 ounces of macaroni noodles. You're going to cook these noodles until they're about 3 minutes away from being done. So not quite done yet. You want them a little bit hard still. But to this large pot, I melted 1/4 cup of butter, and then I added 1/4 cup of flour in. I'm going to whisk this all together until the flour is a nice golden color. Add in your 2½ cups of whole milk at this point, along with 1.5 teaspoons of ground mustard. The ground mustard adds so much great flavor. Whisk this all together and then bring it up to a gentle simmer, and let this simmer while you whisk it frequently for about 5 minutes to thicken it up. So now that your sauce has thickened, go ahead and remove about 1/4 cup of it and whisk it into the egg that we cracked earlier. And then once your egg looks something like this, you are going to pour it into the sauce mixture that we just made up and then stir it in. Now it's time for my favorite part, the cheese part, of course. I added 4 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese in. I am going to whisk it in to let the cheese melt down. And then once the cheese has melted down, you are going to add in the remainder of your seasonings. So about 1/2 teaspoon of seasoning salt, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Give this a stir to stir in your seasonings. Now you'll be adding in the drained macaroni noodles that we cooked up earlier. Go ahead and stir those noodles in so they become really super duper cheesy. And then once they are nice and cheesy like this, you are going to add the macaroni noodles into your greased 9x13 baking dish, or I'm just using a large round baking dish. After I spread it out as even as possible, I'm adding 1 cup of shredded sharp cheddar cheese over the top. This will bake on 350 degrees for about 20 minutes or until the cheese on the top is melty. This is the perfect macaroni and cheese. It has just the right amount of creaminess and richness. It is absolutely divine. Trust me, you gotta try this one. I have plenty more videos like this on my channel, so make sure you subscribe down below the video so you don't miss any more in the future. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.